Welcome to Fame Factor, where we dive deep into the complex, controversial, and utterly fascinating world of one of hip hop's most polarizing figures. I'm your host, Sonia Lambert, and today we're going to explore the untold stories behind Kanye West's rise, fall, and constant reinvention. From a young producer in Chicago to a global icon, from near death experiences to tabloid headlines. This is the story of an artist who refuses to be contained by conventional boundaries. Kanye West isn't just a rapper or producer. He's a cultural phenomenon that has continuously evolved, challenged, and redefined what it means to be an artist in the modern world. But to understand the man behind the headlines, we need to go back to the beginning, to the woman who shaped his fearless expression, and the city that forged his soul. From Kanye's headline-making outbursts to Drake and Jay-Z's Illuminati-linked conspiracies, ever wonder what really goes on behind the fame? Welcome to Fame Factor, the podcast channel that dives deep into the world's most talked-about celebs, unpacking the secrets behind their success and the scandals that nearly derailed them. We're talking industry beefs, canceled tours, courtroom chaos, secret feuds, and the dark side of superstardom. Whether it's Hollywood A-listers, rap royalty, or rock stars, Fame Factor breaks it all down in short, addictive episodes powered by AI, built to keep you hooked and in the know. If you crave real talk about the biggest names and their messiest moments, this is your new favorite channel. Download Scoob from the App Store or Play Store and binge Fame Factor, where celebrity isn't just glamorous, it's explosive. Speaking of explosive, Kanye West is that one celebrity who's always in the limelight. And to understand Kanye West, you have to understand Donda West. She wasn't just his mother, she was his first teacher, his greatest advocate, and the architect of his uncompromising authenticity. Donda raised Kanye to speak honestly and authentically, to express what he called the unfiltered truth as he perceives it. This wasn't just parenting advice. It was a philosophy that would become the driving force behind his Grammy award-winning tracks and millions of records sold worldwide. But here's what's fascinating about Donda's approach. She knew the cost of raising a child to be fearless. In her own words, she recognized that Kanye's approach to life was infused with passion, truth, and a unique vision. She understood that this unbridled passion would occasionally lead to what she called his infamous outbursts, but she refused to suppress it. Why? Because she knew that to stifle his expressiveness would be to endanger his creative output. This wasn't blind support, though. Donda was honest about her son's flaws. She admitted that she didn't agree with everything Kanye said or did, acknowledging that it would be unrealistic to assume his every utterance is flawless or universally true. They had disagreements, probably more than most people expected. But when she disapproved, she told him privately and directly. The world didn't need to hear their family disputes, but Kanye always knew where his mother stood. What makes Donda's influence so profound is that she saw something in her son that others missed. She believed Kanye had a destiny to effect change, a mission that demands he transcend conventional boundaries and norms. Being truthful, rather than merely politically correct, was more important than public approval. This philosophy, that both Kanye and his father lived by, would become the foundation of everything he would create. But let's rewind to 1992, when a young Kanye was just beginning to find his voice in Chicago's underground rap scene. Picture this: a teenager carefully lowering the volume on his musical creations whenever explicit content played, not wanting to offend his mother. He was part of a production duo called Numbskulls with John Monopoly, and he was so confident in his abilities that he told his physical education teacher, Marilyn Gannon, that he would become the greatest rapper worldwide. Her response? She amusingly told him he might need to take a number. This confidence wasn't just teenage bravado. It was a survival mechanism. Kanye's home life was turbulent. His mother, Donda, had partnered with a man named Scotty, whose strict, militaristic parenting style was overwhelming the young artist. Scotty's method relied on fear of punishment and revoking privileges rather than reasonable discipline. The breaking point came when Kanye faced backlash for something as simple as allowing a piece of paper to drift onto the lawn, one of his assigned chores. One evening during dinner, Donda noticed her son crying. The tension had reached a boiling point, and Kanye confided in his mother about his desire to move in with his father. This moment changed everything. Donda made a decision that would alter the trajectory of her son's life. She separated from Scotty and relocated with Kanye to a new home in Tinley Park, just the two of them. This decision was more than just a change of address. It was Donda fully supporting her son's artistic ambitions. Chicago's rap scene in the early 1990s was burgeoning yet underground, marked by intense territorial rivalries and a competitive spirit that would shape Kanye's future approach to the industry. This was the era of Tongue Twista, who would later become known simply as Twista, and Common Sense, later just Common, who was already making waves with tracks like Take It Easy. Central to this evolving scene was a producer known as No ID, whom Kanye would later credit as the foundational figure or godfather of Chicago hip-hop. These artists were innovatively merging jazzy, soulful samples, reminiscent of East Coast hip-hop, with the slick production styles popularized on the West Coast. It was in this environment that Kanye's unique sound began to take shape. Fast forward to what would become the most pivotal moment in Kanye West's life, a car accident that would transform him from a behind-the-scenes producer into the artist we know today. Picture this scene: Kanye sitting in a wrecked car, bombarded with questions even as he grappled with severe pain and struggled to breathe through blood-filled airways. His primary focus was simple: getting to a hospital. "I'm in so much pain right now, I'm gagging on blood right now," he told responders. But this wasn't just any accident. Kanye believed his treatment was made worse by his race, from the unnecessary questioning at the scene to the lack of communication with his mother about which hospital he was taken to. When he finally reached Cedars-Sinai, the indignity continued. He was dropped from the gurney. The injuries were severe: a concussion, multiple nasal fractures, and continuous bleeding every time he tried to speak. When Donda and his then-girlfriend Sumike took the earliest flight to Los Angeles, they were shocked by what they found. Kanye's swollen head barely resembled the person they knew. But even in this dire situation, Kanye's sense of humor shone through. "I look like the clumps," he quipped, referencing the comically obese characters from a popular movie. Here's where the story takes an incredible turn. Even lying in a hospital bed, Kanye's thoughts drifted to music and his career. His manager Roberson, who had flown in immediately after hearing about the accident, was shocked by Kanye's condition. His face was unrecognizable, his speech garbled by a dislocated jaw. Yet Kanye's determination was unwavering. "Yoji, we out of here," he told Roberson, speaking of a future that would see them rise beyond their wildest dreams. The subsequent days were excruciating. His family maintained a vigil outside, sustained by Thai food and prayers, while nurses constantly worked to clear his mouth of blood. Surgeons attempted to fix his jaw, which was initially wired shut but not set correctly, necessitating a second surgery where it was rebroken and reset. 4 hours of reconstructive surgery followed, aimed at restoring his facial features. But here's the remarkable part. This accident became a spiritual awakening for Kanye. During his 2-week hospital stay, he underwent what he described as a profound transformation. He reflected deeply on his life's path and realized that his time was finite, inspiring a newfound respect for a higher power. While Donda noted he was never a card-carrying Christian, the accident resonated with him deeply. He believed angels watched over him, sparing him from death for a greater purpose. The accident gave Kanye something invaluable: permission to focus on his own artistry. "The accident gave me the opportunity to do what I really wanted to do," he later explained. Before the crash, his aspirations of becoming a rapper were often dismissed. He was seen as a producer, not an artist. But during his recovery, he could finally focus solely on developing his own craft. 3 days after the accident, Kanye called his friend Consequence, sharing his latest lyrics over the phone. Despite his friend's surprise and concern, Kanye was unwavering in his determination to continue working. He even persuaded Damon Dash to provide him with a drum machine while he was still recuperating. Once discharged after 2 weeks, Kanye's fervor to narrate his experience led him to create a makeshift studio in his hotel suite at the W Hotel near the accident site. His mother moved in to care for him around the clock, administering medications and feeding him liquid meals through a straw. It was here that he built a song around a sample of Chaka Khan's Through the Fire, recording his raps despite the discomfort of his jaw being wired shut. The creation of Through the Wire was a testament to Kanye's dedication. Obtaining the rights to use the Chaka Khan sample was a major challenge, resolved only through a chance encounter between Kanye's collaborator J.B. Marshall and Chaka Khan's son Damien. Though Kanye didn't receive songwriting credits, his passion and dedication shone through in every impaired vocal. This track would play a pivotal role in securing his opportunity to release a solo album with Roc-A-Fella Records. But the accident also tested Kanye's character in ways that would define his integrity. The other driver had suffered severe injuries, and since Kanye had fallen asleep at the wheel, he was technically at fault. Initially, he was advised to lie to avoid legal repercussions, but Kanye made a decision that revealed his true character. He chose to come clean about the truth. He informed his mother of his intention to face the consequences honestly, regardless of the financial burden. "I'm ready to take responsibility, even if it costs me every penny I've earned," he expressed. This wasn't just about legal liability. It was about doing what was right. Kanye believed that helping the injured party heal by being upfront was more valuable than any monetary loss. He committed to rebuilding his finances if necessary, but he wouldn't compromise his integrity. This decision revealed something crucial about Kanye's character. Despite all the controversy that would follow in his career, at this fundamental moment, he chose truth over convenience, integrity over self-preservation. It's a decision that speaks to the values Donda instilled in him, the importance of being authentic, even when it's difficult. The truth is, there's always more beneath the surface of fame's spotlight. Choosing to look deeper helps you see celebrities not just as gossip, but as complex people caught in a high-stakes game. If hearing about Kanye, Drake, Jay-Z, and the wild world of celebrity made you think, wait, there's way more to this than I knew, then don't forget to follow and subscribe to Fame Factor on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Your future self and your curiosity will thank you. Now, let's address one of the most fascinating aspects of Kanye West's career, his constantly evolving public persona. Unlike his contemporaries like Jay-Z, T.I., and Lil Wayne, who have successfully forged recognizable hip-hop brands, Kanye's brand is notably chameleon-like, continually transforming. Beginning around 2003, following his 6-year period as a producer, Kanye has experienced a series of metamorphoses. In a relatively brief span, he's oscillated dramatically, portraying himself at different times as a clean-cut good guy, an impassioned activist, a stylish ladies' man, an eccentric artist driven by ego, and even a bad boy aspiring to thug status. His partnership with Kim Kardashian further cemented his position as part of an entertainment powerhouse couple. But here's what's crucial to understand. These shifts aren't driven by market demands or industry changes. They're driven by Kanye himself. He harbors a deep dissatisfaction with his already well-established status as one of the most talented and critically acclaimed artists in rap. He's not content to be just another successful rapper. He wants to emerge as a more memorable and marketable public figure than icons like Tupac and Biggie. Kanye's relentless pursuit of brand identity suggests he aspires to attain a level of public prominence similar to legends like Prince, Madonna, and Michael Jackson, a stature that has arguably eluded the majority of hip-hop artists. His dynamic adaptability allows for a transcendent positioning that escapes the racial limitations typically tied to success, a mastery that even eluded Michael Jackson. The year 2009 was perhaps the most turbulent in Kanye's career, a perfect storm of personal struggles, legal battles, and public scrutiny that would test his resilience like never before. By this time, Kanye's presence in the tabloids was expanding beyond his ability to control, compounded by his frequent and fervent online activity. In January, both his MySpace and Gmail accounts were hacked, sparking an intense response. Kanye took to his Kanye University blog with a passionate, all-caps rant in eye-catching blue font. The post, titled, "You, why won't you let me be great?" Zarina detailed the invasion of his privacy. He shared his disbelief at being misquoted in the media and how his email had been compromised, with unauthorized Skype accounts set up under his name. This wasn't an isolated incident. Kanye's online diatribes became legendary, contributing to a persona seen as unpredictable and egotistical. When he discovered a fake Twitter account in May, he again took to his blog, demanding Twitter remove the imposter, characteristically using capital letters to express his intense emotions. But amid these digital battles, Kanye also used the internet to engage positively with fans. He shared a photograph of himself with Jared Leto and Brandon Flowers from The Killers, revealing their collaboration on a track called Hurricane in Hawaii. He even uploaded a short film he'd created with Spike Jonze titled We Were Once a Fairy Tale, featuring himself inebriated in a nightclub, culminating in a surreal scene where he vomits flower petals. The media attention reached a crescendo when South Park aired an episode on April 8, 2009, that mocked Kanye's perceived self-centeredness. The plot revolved around the phrase, "Do you like fish sticks?" leading to, "What are you, a gay fish?" In the episode, Kanye fails to understand the joke initially, then embraces it, resulting in a humorous auto-tune parody of his own song, Heartless. But the online chaos was just the beginning. On March 18, 2009, Kanye and his tour manager Don C. appeared in court in Los Angeles, facing charges from an incident at LAX on September 11, 2008. They were accused of vandalism, grand theft, and battery after a confrontation with paparazzi resulted in destroyed cameras. The incident was dramatic. Kanye threw a photographer's expensive camera to the ground, while Don C. forcibly obtained and smashed a camera belonging to a TMZ film crew. Eyewitnesses described how Kanye aggressively approached the videographer, demanding footage and having to be held back by police. Kanye faced potential severe consequences, up to 2.5 years of imprisonment. However, after paying for damages, injuring no one, and voluntarily completing 12 hours of anger management therapy, he and Don C. received sentences of 50 hours of community service. The charges were ultimately dismissed. During this same period, Kanye was juggling multiple projects, performing at Denmark's Roskilde Festival and London's Wireless Festival, while playing a pivotal role in Jay-Z's The Blueprint 3, producing 8 tracks and featuring on 2, including the hit Run This Town, which reached number 2 on the Billboard charts. If 2009 was about scrutiny and legal battles, the next phase of Kanye's career would be defined by perhaps the most watched celebrity relationship of the decade. When Kanye West and Kim Kardashian became Kimye, the media's focus intensified to an extent neither had encountered before. The public had an insatiable appetite for details. They captured Kim in what tabloids called a walk of shame from Kanye's apartment, wearing the previous night's attire. Even mundane activities became fodder for gossip. Kim checking her phone during a laser hair removal session prompted speculation about communication with Kanye. A simple blemish on her skin was analyzed as potential evidence of a love bite. Their every move was chronicled. Kanye meeting Kim's family, their separate hotel arrivals, lavish trips strolling through London hand in hand during the European leg of his Watch the Throne tour with Jay-Z. Paparazzi used long lenses to capture Kim's sporting gold KW earrings, while fashion writers dissected their coordinated outfits. The combination was explosive. Kim's reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians was already a pop culture juggernaut, and Kanye was arguably the most watched hip-hop artist of his time. Together, they were a powerhouse for gossip columns, ensuring a steady stream of stories regardless of how insignificant the events might be. Their extravagant purchases were itemized and valued, every delayed flight due to Kanye's tardiness documented. When Kanye accidentally hit his head against a street sign while holding Kim's hand, the incident was filmed, capturing his frustrated reaction. His subdued first appearance on Kim's show in July, where he lent her his luxurious $500,000 Mercedes McLaren SLR Sterling Moss, was touted as a major TV event. But the media thrived on conflict. Stories surfaced claiming Kanye was seen behaving flirtatiously with cheerleaders during a Knicks game while Kim was in LA. Articles scrutinized his annoyance whenever Kim received more attention during public outings or his absence from red carpet events. To truly understand Kanye West, we need to examine the broader context of his career through the lens of someone who knows him best. Rhymefest, a longtime collaborator and childhood friend, offers perhaps the most profound perspective on Kanye's journey. Rhymefest characterizes Kanye as living art, an artist in perpetual motion, continuously crafting and evolving while under the constant gaze of society. But this isn't just about celebrity. It's about the unique challenges facing prominent Black artists in an industry that, according to Rhymefest, aims to isolate them from their roots, gradually rendering them dispensable. This system is inherently threatened by unity among people, and it actively resists change. Artists like Kanye challenge the status quo through their art and their opposition to corporate control. In response, the industry shifts focus to younger, more impressionable artists, attempting to detach seasoned artists from their communities the moment they begin to see through the industry's facade. Kanye stands out as an artist willing to express and market himself in unconventional ways. Despite his boundless energy and creativity, he battles with the personal loss of his mother, Donda, who passed away in 2007. Her presence had grounded him and offered guidance that he continues to seek. Understanding Kanye requires exploring Chicago's rich history, politics, social environment, and musical heritage. Influential figures like Curtis Mayfield and the legendary sounds of blues significantly shaped his style. Chicago, essentially a southern city within a metropolitan setting, imparts a unique bluesy feel that reflects in the work of artists from the region. Chicago's vibrant cultural landscape, notably as the birthplace of house music, profoundly impacted Kanye's artistic expression. The house music culture encouraged him to embrace openness and experimentation, shaping his personal style and instilling the importance of accepting diversity. This openness influenced his candidness on issues like homophobia, partially attributed to this expanded perspective. Chicago's political dynamics and gang culture taught Kanye essential lessons about affiliation, hierarchy, and loyalty. In a city where individuals align themselves with cliques, loyalty to one's group is paramount. The same individuals who were part of Kanye's circle 2 decades ago remain close to him today, underscoring the deep-seated loyalty ingrained in Chicago's culture. The accident didn't fundamentally change Kanye as an artist. It offered him greater access to deeper parts of his already existing art. He had created significant tracks like All Falls Down and Jesus Walks with the same lyrics before the accident occurred. However, it was after the accident that he wrote songs like Never Let Me Down, Spaceship, and School Spirit. Kanye has always maintained that he had that creative vibe, and the accident didn't transform him into a conscious rapper. He views himself as a regular person with a conscience, like everyone else. This perspective reflects his belief that personal consciousness is inherent in all individuals, not unique to artists or public figures. While bedridden, Kanye began penning new lyrics about the accident's emotional toll on his loved ones. He wrote poignant lines about how difficult it was for his family, particularly imagining his mother's despair when she was told he was on life support. He also considered the fear experienced by his girlfriend, drawing parallels to historical racial injustices. No ID shared insights into Kanye's shifting identity after the accident, highlighting how it marked a pivot from the gangsta rap persona Kanye had adopted largely out of insecurity and the need to fit in. After the accident, Kanye declared, "I figured it out," envisioning music that would reflect his brush with mortality, a more conscious direction that defied his previous image. As we reach the end of our journey through the Kanye Chronicles, one thing becomes clear. Kanye West is not just an artist. He's a living, breathing embodiment of the American dream's complexities, contradictions, and possibilities. From a young man in Chicago, raised by a mother who refused to let him dim his light, to a global icon who continues to challenge, provoke, and inspire, Kanye's story is far from over. His journey from that hospital bed, jaw wired shut, creating Through the Wire to becoming one of the most influential artists of our time, is a testament to the power of authentic expression. Yes, he's been controversial. Yes, he's made mistakes. But he's also remained true to the values his mother instilled in him: the courage to speak his truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it costs him. Rhymefest was right when he called Kanye living art. He's an artist in perpetual motion, constantly evolving under the public's gaze. His story reminds us that true artistry isn't about maintaining a perfect image. It's about remaining authentic to your vision, even when the world tries to box you in. Kanye's lore continues to unfold, and if history is any indication, there are more chapters to be written. Love him or hate him, Kanye West has forced us to confront uncomfortable truths about art, authenticity, and the price of fame in modern America. And perhaps that's exactly what his mother raised him to do: to be fearless in his expression, to speak truth to power, and to never let anyone dim the light she helped kindle. Thank you for joining me on this episode on Kanye West today. I'm your host, Sonia Lambert, and this has been Fame Factor. If this episode gave you fresh insights, juicy gossip, or just a new way to look at celebrity culture, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen. And if you're hungry for more fast, fascinating AI-powered episodes on your favorite stars, scandals, and pop culture moments, check out Scoob, the podcast studio app that tailors bite-sized content just for you. Download it now from the App Store or Play Store and transform how you binge celebrity stories. Until next time, remember, fame might be flashy, but the truth is always worth chasing.